Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my Jay Bird. And this is remembering 1976 and then 1977 when I first learned how to play chess, created my own theory, and and still to this day, I'm played the same way. Nothing's changed, and I'm not going to change because this is the way I play chess. And you know, new, old. I'm creating putting together some of the old and the new. I'm making different pawn moves first, and then still go into my theory and still play the game and so on. And you know what? Before I get started, what I think I'm learning is now I keep playing over and over, and it doesn't matter if it's a 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It's like it's all the same. I mean, it's all the tactics. It's all the same because when I do my stuff that I always keep doing, I'm doing it. It's but there's different routes. It goes, it takes. It don't take all the time, but I take my route all the time. And then when it changes a little bit, I have to change a little bit in the back too, and then decide which way how I'm going to go about it. And it's getting this is the part I don't understand how 2100 can play like a 25 and 2600 because it's the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. So they say, well, it's the winning. Well, to me, if you got the tactics of a 2200, like these bots I'm playing, or a 2100, you have those tactics. No way you can beat a 2600 on a 2500 because you're not doing something right. Because how can you have them tactics and not have a higher rating than you do at 21 or 22 when you know all these tactics? You're better than the program then. No. So we'll get more to that. I'm trying to figure it out because this is crazy. I'm going to end up if I keep this up playing these programs over and over with my opening theory and keep learning. I mean, it's just I'm going to just do it naturally. It looks like I think what's going to happen. I'm going to end up turning to be from an 1800 to an instant 2400 or something, whatever it's going to be. But let's get down to it. And I'm in black, and this is called Nightbird, Knight's Queen, Rook Crown Castle to bot 1900. No errors, no assistance, no help whatsoever to beat this bot. Game 22, and let's get down to it. D4, B6, E4, B7. See, like I say, I'm going to go into the Knight's Bird, but I'm starting different ways. This is new to me. Instead of just going right into the Knight's Bird, okay? After B7, C3, D6, F4, E6, H5. And it's funny how this game went, how Jay Bird used to attack me. He'd run his bishop out. But let's keep going. After H5, D7, B5, and he'd run two bishops out like this, run the queen out. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I think when I did push these pawns up like this, and when I did something else, if he had a chance to put the bishops out, he would. So, I'm kind of getting a flashback a little bit in the game here. After B5, A6, G5, E7, into the Knight's Bird, takes E7, takes E7, into the Knight's Queen, it's all forced, takes D7, takes D7, F3, castle, and there's your Rook Crown Castle. You see, it didn't let me go no further than what I did. But you see how this opening and the aggression coming down can handle itself pretty much at this level now. After castle, G4, E2, because it defends that pawn, and I attack. If he takes with the pawn, I'll take. There's no more attacks. After F5, E2, takes E4, takes E4, F6, takes F6, takes F6, F3, rookie over F8, he castles, I side the king over B8, E1, D5, didn't take because I figured it wouldn't done no good to put the rest of the pawns up. So after d5, I push up f5. He goes b1. I go f4. And I think that costed him the game to let that pawn get up here like this. After f4, but I'm no grandmaster, so I don't know exactly. But after f4, h4, g4. Anytime you get a chance to pin something, pin it. And there's a weak pawn, and I got a pin at the same time. So this is looking good. After g4, f4, h6. I didn't want this knight coming down here because that's protected. So I stopped it quick. And next thing you know, from here to here, look. Yeah, no. e4, g8, d3. Now there's nothing he can do about that. Takes g2, e2. Now, you would say he could have went back here. Then I would have took the pawn. And then he could have pushed this one here. And then you say he's trapped. No, I'd run it here. So there's nothing here. So e2, after e2, g6, I come back. He goes e1. I take d3, takes d3, g2, e2, a5, c4, c8, c3, and that was another thing. Well, he couldn't go there, but he could go back here and threaten, and I guess I'd go over here. Yeah, I can see why maybe. After c3, g4, e1, take e2, take g2, g8, e1, g4, c2, f3, b3, takes h4, c3, h1, c1, h5, c2, h4, d2, h3, e3, h2, a4, and f1. I'm pretty sure, I guess there was nothing he could really do. If he moves, I'm going to take that piece out no matter what. That's locked in. I ran it down before moving over here. So no, always take the pawns in as close as you can. After f1, d3, take c1, take c1, queen h1, takes e2, takes e2, takes e2, b1, f4, check e4, d2, f4. I like doing things this way. If I got a big piece and he's threatening one, if I can get a check just to come over and get the piece on the attack at the same time, I'd prefer to do it this way. d3, d4, c2, b1, b1, c3, a2, e3, b1, e2, a2, e1, a3, and that is game with a1. Let's go back. There's no real serious tactics here in this game at all, really. I mean, it looks like it was all broken down here on this one side. I mean, I did get to open up. Knight bird, knight's queen, rook crown castle. And then I got a chance to do it the right way. That was the right way. Attack and, look for best move. He took, and I saw to do that. I'm going to use it and see what happens. That's what he did. He didn't want to trade that down. I guess that would have put this pawn over here. Then it would have been more. But maybe it could have been better that way. I don't know. Oh, but then I got, yeah, well, yeah, then the rook's here, then the bishop. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, see. But to let me get that pawn up there like that, I think that, well, get that up there, and then I think that's it right there. To get those two moves in like that, defend that square, that costs him. I wanted to get rid of that as soon as I can. I didn't care what the standard stacks was here. And then to get another pin like that, I was so glad to trade it all down. And that was the downfall. This one pass pawn over here. And like I said, I'm randomly going through, and that's game. And I'm randomly going through and picking out the games I have with no errors and help and assistance whatsoever, and I'm bringing them to you. I mean, I do got a lot. I mean, I got some more 2100s, 2200s, and I got the two games 25 and the 2650 yet. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting to get, to beat this 23 and 24 and 25 more. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Thanks for stopping by.